This video is brought to you by Dr. Kristen R. Bromley's Guitar Method Book Series and Online Music Academy.
Hi, I'm Dr. Kristen Bromley. Welcome to my online academy. It's such a pleasure to be here helping you with playing the guitar. In this video, I'm going to go over the G minor chord, and we're going to use this chord to play some songs right along with some of the other chords that we've learned previously. It's going to be super fun. We'll be jamming on those songs, you, me, and the band, so it's going to be great. This video does accompany Lesson 12 from my Chords and Harmony Books 1 and 2 method book. In that book, we'll be starting on page 71 as we learn the G minor chord, and to play songs 1, 2, and 3. Then as the lesson progresses, we'll flip over to page 73 to do song number 7. So it's going to be great. Let's go ahead and get started here with the G minor chord. This is a bar chord. So we've done a couple bar chords before, and you'll remember that with a bar chord, we're using a single finger to press multiple strings down at once. So with the G minor chord, we're using our index finger to play all of these notes that are happening in the 3rd fret. If you're looking in the book, you'll see how they're drawn right in the 3rd fret. Here up on the board, I just made a note that this is fret 3. So we're going to put a bar across all 6 strings at the 3rd fret. You'll remember, if you've seen the previous videos, that when creating the bar, we're not going to press the strings directly on with this part of our finger. We're going to turn the finger to the side and catch it just a little bit there with an angle. To do that, we have to put our thumb 1 fret higher than the bar, or behind the fret that's just higher than the bar. So we're going to put that there. We get a little bit of leverage as we press that down, which is pretty cool. So that's the first part of the G minor. Then after that, it's really easy. 2 frets higher, we're going to put our ring and pinky fingers. So we put that bar down at the 3rd fret, then ring and pinky fingers 2 frets higher on the 4th and 5th strings, or the 5th and 4th if you're thinking ring finger and then pinky. And we strum all 6 strings. It's just as easy as that. Now this one takes some physical strength, and you'll notice that my middle finger is even gone to help that bar, and that's an okay thing to do. We don't need that middle finger, and it can help press that down if that helps you. So you can practice just strumming that chord. I'm just using a down, down, up, strumming pattern, trying to get all those strings to ring and get kind of comfortable there. We'll be playing this chord right along with the D minor chord and A7 as we jam on our first song, and that's pretty cool. That's a good sound. So you can start G minor and then go to D minor, A7, and D minor. So it gives us a little bit of a break there. Now it's challenging sometimes to move from a bar chord to a non-bar chord, so you may just want to go back and forth between G minor and D minor, trying to get comfortable finding that bar chord and then having some relief from playing it with the D minor. And then we could have the A7 in there, D minor. So if we created a little practice exercise for ourselves in getting started with this, we could do G minor for a bar, to D minor for a bar, to A7 for a bar, back to D minor for a bar, and just do that over and over. So you could join in with that down, down, up, down, up. G minor, D minor, A7, D minor. I'll do it once more. So that's a great little exercise you could use as you get started with this chord. Now, something that we used a lot when we got started in the lesson series, I mentioned it multiple times, when shifting from one chord to the next, it can be really hard when it's a challenging chord to get to. It's important to go for that chord that you're trying to get to before it's time to strum that chord. So that might mean actually doing it on the last up strum if that is needed. So you could have a few open strings strummed if you're trying to disguise getting to that next chord. I could have open strings strummed there to get to the D minor, and open strings if I need to get to that A7, and back to the D minor. Same thing here, I could have open strings on that up strum to get to that G minor. So that's a little thing that can help you if you're struggling to keep the strumming pattern happening and switch the chords at the same time and sort of disguise it. Then of course the better we get at switching chords, the faster we get and the less we need to disguise it with kind of strumming some open chords there in the middle. But that disguises it more than pausing to get to the next chord. It's okay though if you need to just strum, find the next chord, strum, because that's another good exercise as well. Okay, before we jam together on these songs, I'm going to go over a couple simplified ways to play G minor. So a lot of times as we're getting to this part of our playing, we've learned a bunch of open position chords. We can play a lot of songs, and then we'll have a song that comes up and has like one of these bar chords, and we're just not physically ready to manage playing it like this or getting to it. There's a couple simplified ways that we can learn to play it first. Just like we learned the 4-string F, and then we learned the 6-string version. We can do the same sort of thing here. So you'll see them drawn there on page 61. But the first thing is with the simplified G minor is to simply take off what's on these lower 2 strings and create a 4-string version. To do that, I have my ring finger and then my index. So the index bars across these 3 notes, and then my ring finger goes 2 frets higher. And I can play G minor just like that, just as I could play the F chord with just 4 strings. Now I slide up and play G minor. So that's a great way to simplify the G minor chord. One other one that's even simpler, but isn't as great of an option because it takes the G note from being the lowest note of the chord, so it obscures the sound a little bit. But another option that's even easier is to simply play these 3 notes in the 3rd fret and then play an open 4th string. That puts a D in the bass instead of a G, but it is a way to get a G minor chord. So if you need to get to one quick and it's just in a song and you've got a couple spots with G minor and you just can't do the full bar chord or even the 4-string version, then you can just play those top 3 strings and add that open 4th string, or even just play the top 3 strings. So that's a way to grab the G minor sound. It doesn't sound quite as well when you want that root position chord with that low G in the bass or even the 4th string G, but that is an option as well. Okay, so we're going to jam together on some songs. We're going to do songs 1, 2, 3, and 7 here in this video. Each one of them is going to happen at 2 different tempos like normal, a slower tempo and a faster tempo. Each one of these songs has a strumming pattern written next to it. They're all in 4/4 time. We're going to be using down, down, up, down, up, or down, down, up, down, up, down, up. So you'll see those written there. We'll just be matching the groove that we'll be playing along with. It's going to be super fun. Let's go ahead and jam together on these songs. Okay, great. I hope you're having fun with this. Bar chords are really challenging, so if you're finding this frustrating, you can just give yourself a little bit of a break, give yourself some slack, and just work on them a little bit at a time. They're also physically demanding, so it's important not to over practice because you can actually just create a lot of pain, create some strain, maybe hurt some of the muscles, tendons, and ligaments from our fingers to our shoulder, our elbow, our forearm, all those different places. We don't want to do that. It can also be helpful to stretch, so you may just want to stretch. That always feels good as well, and not practice these too much at a time. All right, so in the next video, we're going to do 5 more songs where we get to work some more with the G minor chord. Those 5 songs, of course, come right there out of lesson 12, so we're just working our way through this book in this lesson series. It's super fun. Take care. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching this video. If you found it helpful, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. And be sure to check out more great content. You can find more information about me and my products at kristenbromley.com. Take care.